Hi there, welcome to this video when I'm going to be photographing Fieldfare. If you're a regular to the channel, you've probably seen quite a few videos from my bird hide here behind me, and what I thought I'd do today is something a little bit different, because at this time of year in the winter we also get quite a few Fieldfare visit our paddock here behind the house, because we've got an apple tree and it attracts the Fieldfare and also blackbirds as well, but it's mainly the Fieldfare that I'm interested in this morning because we only see them in the winter. They're slightly more unusual. So in this video I'm going to tell you more about the Fieldfare and hopefully get some really good photographs as well. So come along with me, because I know that I'm really going to enjoy my photography. So this is my setup here behind me. This is a pop-up hide that I've used in several videos. It's really good because inside there are two seats and it's super quick to set up. You just flip the top over, it unfolds in a matter of seconds, and you can take it out into the field or just use it here at home. It's great. Now, a few years ago I did do a project based on the apple tree where I took a picture every week for a whole year, and then I've stitched it together into a little time lapse to show how the apple tree changes over the course of a year. So I'll show you that now. So I thought that was quite interesting, just to see how the apple tree changed over the seasons, particularly when it started to get loaded with apples. Now you notice that the branches start to sink down, and I think that's quite interesting. But that's not what you're here for today. We're going to get into the hide and hopefully take some photographs of Fieldfare, and I'm going to tell you some more details about them. Now, just before I get into the hide, I will mention that next to the apple tree here is our chicken pen. The chickens free range outside here, but some of the apples have fallen inside the chicken enclosure, and I have noticed the Fieldfares landing inside, taking the apples from there. So if the Fieldfares do land inside the chicken enclosure, I won't be able to take their photographs because of taking the shots through this mesh that's around the outside. So hopefully they'll land on the area that do have apples and aren't obscured by the mesh. Fieldfare are a large, colourful bird about the size of a missel thrush, and they are actually part of the thrush family, and they go around the UK countryside during the winter in flocks between 10 and 20 and maybe up to 100, and they're a very, very sociable bird. Fieldfares come to the UK because of our native berry and fruit trees, and that's obviously why they're attracted to our paddock, because of the apples that have fallen onto the ground under the tree. A Fieldfare has a characteristic blue-grey head with a yellow beak, brown-grey wings and a speckled breast. Now, it's not to be confused with the redwing. These related species often flock together, but redwings are notably smaller and lack the blue-grey colouring of the Fieldfare. Now, unlike all our other thrushes, the Fieldfare is predominantly grey, and the Fieldfare is common in winter if looked for in the right habitat. Its tail is long and black, and its rump and back are a beautiful pearly grey colour, and its mantle is brown. Its wings are grey-brown and show a whitish shoulder patch. Its head is grey with a white eye stripe, black lores, thin streaked moustachial stripe, dark streaked pale buff throat and grey ear coverts. And its bill is two tones yellow and grey. Underneath, its breast is washed with a bright ochre buff, heavily streaked and spotted black. Flanks again are buffy with an arrow-shaped black streaking. Fieldfares are migratory, and while they spend their winter in the UK, they will flock back to Scandinavia to breed in the spring. As well as fallen fruit, the Fieldfare also take a large selection of berries, including juniper, hawthorn and holly, and they will also, in the summer, turn to insects and invertebrates to eat. The name Fieldfare is derived from the Anglo-Saxon fieldware, which means traveller of the fields. When the Fieldfares are in the UK, they mainly stick to rural areas, but they will sometimes visit more urban areas to search out food. Now they do rely on high trees to roost during the evenings just so they can stay safe. As the Fieldfare arrive in the UK, they're first seen on the east coast, but then they spread out over the next 3 or 4 weeks to cover the entire UK, and there are up to 1 million individuals. Now if you want to see Fieldfare, then you need to look around trees that have fallen fruit, like I've got here in the paddock, or around trees that have berries such as juniper or holly or hawthorn, and you might see them there. Now you just got to be careful not to confuse them with redwings, because they do often flock together, and also blackbirds do get attracted to many similar food sources. While I've been waiting here, I've seen many more blackbirds than I have Fieldfare, and the blackbirds do tend to be braver, so they tend to come out before the Fieldfare do. And also you can listen out for the chack 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 sound of their call, and that is another way of identifying them. I have actually spent a few days trying to get pictures of the Fieldfare, and the other morning was very frosty, and this is when I got my best photographs of the Fieldfare. Now this morning, because I've been talking to the camera, I've not seen any as yet to photograph, but I've still got lots from the other day. Now to start with, even then, when I was just sitting quietly, I did get a lot more blackbirds appearing on the apples, and the Fieldfare do appear to be shyer and don't appear as often. Fieldfare do get quite aggressive when defending food, and I've noticed just while I've been watching them here in the paddock that even one Fieldfare will aggressively try to scare off a flock of over 10 blackbirds. Now when I had the frost on the grasses and the apples, it did make for some really striking pictures. It really set off the blackbirds and the Fieldfare that landed on them, and with having the 100 to 400 millimeter lens on the front of the Z8, I got some absolutely spot on pictures, really sharp and very, very clear. And when the Fieldfare did show up, I did get some really lovely pictures, and it was only really after I started editing them that I realised just how attractive these birds really are, and I got some great poses almost by luck. They're a very proud looking bird, and really are very, very striking. While you're sat out in a hide as well, you do also see other kinds of bird life. I got a very nice photograph of a blue tit that landed on the apple tree, and yes, I wasn't sat here wanting to take its photograph, but even so, it's posed really nicely and was caught by the early morning sun. And also I got a nice photograph of a jackdaw. Jackdaws usually are very difficult to photograph because they are very skittish. Their slightest movement from the camera can make them fly off. So almost you have to have the camera pointing in the right direction, or hope that they're far enough away so they don't notice the movement of the camera. And a jackdaw landed in a really opportune place that I was pointing at, and it was framed lovely by the frost on the grass, and I've got a nice shot of that as well. What I'll do now is I'll leave you with some of my favourite shots that I've taken over the few days that I've been photographing the Fieldfare. Well, I hope you've enjoyed seeing photographs of those lovely birds during this video. I've really enjoyed finding out more about them. I really look forward to the time when they come and visit us in the winter, because it's something a little bit different that you don't normally see. If you have enjoyed that video, do let me know down below in the comments, and nip over to my Instagram or Vero account, that's @doakdenphotography. Leave me your comments there, and you can also see lots of my photographs. Now, if you like what I do on the channel and want to help support me to make future content like this, then you can also visit my Teespring store. There I've got a range of merchandise on offer, so head off over there, because the purchase really does help me out and it's very much appreciated. But you don't have to spend any money at all to support the channel. You can do that simply by clicking like, subscribe and the bell notification. Really helps me out, and it makes sure that you don't miss out on any future content. Watch out for next week's video, that goes live on Sunday. In the meantime, go and check out this video just up here. But all that's left now is to say, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.